Let's go over Star Wars when it comes to writer and director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, at the very end of Episode 8, we witnessed the death of Luke Skywalker. This was a very controversial moment between many Star Wars fans around the world on exactly whether or not it was good or bad that Luke Skywalker died so early on in the sequel trilogy. Now, like I say every single time, I feel like that at the very end of The Last Jedi, it felt like a conclusion to the sequel trilogy, and that this ending deserved to be the ending of Star Wars Episode 9. It would have just made a whole lot more sense to me, personally. But anyways, moving forward, a lot of you guys have been reaching out to me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, etc., about Luke Skywalker's mechanical hand and why it didn't drop on the rock. And I just wanted to clarify some things here, that this was actually one of the big mistakes by Rian Johnson in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Even Rian Johnson himself and Mark Hamill were joking about this after they made the movie on how they forgot to add in such a tiny feature in Star Wars The Last Jedi, where the mechanical hand just doesn't even plump onto the rock and you don't even see it. And that actually is leading a lot of people to believing that Luke Skywalker did not die, where in reality, Rian Johnson just missed that little detail of having his mechanical hand not clank on top of the rock after he died and vanished and became one with the Force. So I feel like that, since there's so many people working on, these Star Wars movies, you think that somebody, while editing this movie would have thought about this and came across this and thought to themselves, should we add in the mechanical hand clanking on top of the rock? Well, believe it or not, just before they finished the movie, both Rian and Mark Hamill are looking back at this, and they were actually joking about it on how they missed such a big detail in the movie and how his mechanical hand did not clank on top of the rock and fall down. Because, as you all know, materialistic objects do not become one with the Force, such as clothing and anything else, such as even a lightsaber. Hence why in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan Kenobi dies, all of what's left is his robes and the lightsaber that belonged to him, which in the EU, Darth Vader takes and brings it into his castle as a trophy. He keeps his lightsaber. But looking at Episode 9, it shall be very interesting to see exactly what they will do with this movie. Now, the main reason as to why I believe that they made this big mistake so easily is because Luke Skywalker, the death scene, he had gloves on both hands, in case you guys didn't see. Well, I actually had one glove on the mechanical hand and one was bare. So the thing here is that you would think that they would have recognized such a thing where, oh, he's got the glove on the mechanical hand, let's erase that and have that clank on top of the rock. That, to me, would have made a whole lot more sense. Now, I don't know what you guys have to say about this. There's a lot of people who, believe that Luke Skywalker lived, and as much as I would love to believe that, as much as I want to see this happen in Episode 9, we'll have to wait and see. I think the more realistic approach in Episode 9 is that JJ will be bringing him back in the form of a flashback. We do know that Mark Hamill is confirmed for returning in Episode 9. He shaved his beard off a couple of weeks ago. Whether or not Luke Skywalker would actually have a new appearance in Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to clarify some things with a lot of you guys around the world there, talking about Luke Skywalker's mechanical hand and why it didn't drop on top of the rock. I know a lot of people are kind of using that as a foundation to having Luke Skywalker be alive in Episode 9, and you know what? They could make that work if they really wanted to. If JJ wanted to, he could use that mistake and actually make it work for his own movie of bringing Luke Skywalker back to life. The only thing about bringing Luke back is, well, how would he have robes on? That's another thought for sure, because the robes were left behind on top of that rock, and in the novelization, the caretakers actually take his robes, his boots, and his gloves over to one of the huts, and they store them where all the other Jedi have been. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.